Hello, good afternoon and welcome to Richmond Rugby Club. We are at the business end of the International Defence Rugby Competition. It's time for the semi-finals. Later, of course, we'll have Fiji up against the Irish Defence Forces. But first up, we have the home team, the UK Armed Forces team, up against the defending champions, of course, France. Let's take a look at their tournament so far.
Lovely footwork there, and she keeps on going for an early score in the opening seconds of this match. She's got Aspinall outside her, Kim Grundy as well. She'll not need them because the UKAF captain is over for yet another try. 105 points to nil. UKAF get the victory first up in the curtain-raising match.
Yeah, it makes
And
huge
Dainton
difference.
again, and look at that pace from Dainton and agility as well. Fantastic stuff from the dual code star. Lovely stuff from the right winger. There's been another ruthless display from UKAF. But just a little ill-disciplined, and that's fantastic from Zambia. They move forward, Luwena gets the try, their second today in Aldershot. Oh, and moving blind is Lucy Nye, and that's lovely stuff. Kim Grundy, can she make it? She does indeed. Wonderful try from the RAF winger.
Kick forward then from Bergeron, and that's collected on that far side of the field, and they're going to go in for the opening score.
That's nice.
Wow. Very nice, and Naimata on the right hand side, a try for Fiji. This is absolutely brilliant stuff from the green and reds.
She's going to go all the way. Guisson for her second try. Wonderful scenes from the French. And that's going out to the other wing. It is Adelaine Carrasquet for the points, but it is a resounding win for the French military here at Aldershot. Before any of you ask, I did ask for a box to stand on, and John is also uphill. But needless to say, John, here we are at Richmond Rugby Club. You know the UK Armed Forces women very well. You've coached a lot of them. You know, you're still very involved with military rugby. What are their chances? I think that's the question on everyone's lips at the moment.
I think they've got a great chance. Semi-final rugby is all about what you do on the day, not what you've done before. The French are the world champions for a reason, and previous champions. But I think what it'll come down to is how our line out and scrum do, and Daisy and Lucy work at scrum half. I think they'll do well.
Yeah, what kind of threat having watched the French all the way through this tournament, and we know that they're defending champions, what sort of threat do they pose? And obviously the UKAF will have been watching them very closely. They won't have jumped to the final already. You know, they've got to get over this hurdle first. So what threat do you see that they do pose to the UKAF side?
Well, if you watch the first half of their game against Fiji, they were beating Fiji and are beating them well by playing good structured rugby. Their back row are quite good. The back three are really impressive, both in attack and defence. I particularly like the wingers and the fullback, who make things happen, but seem to shut the door whenever you think there's an overlap. But they're 9 and 10. Their leaders get them around the park really well. So a lot of it will come down to the nuts and bolts of rugby, and semi-final rugby comes down to set piece, line out, scrums, kick-offs and kicking, and how you chase those.
What sort of mindset, I'm sure you've seen some of the players this morning, will UKAF be in? Because we know that they felt that they were underprepared 3 years ago in New Zealand. French went on to win that tournament. They looked so close this tournament. They've looked well drilled. They haven't looked like they're overtrained either. They certainly haven't looked complacent. And they're at home. Does that all play into a really good omen for them? Yeah,
I was chatting to the French manager and she was saying that we're the favourites because we're at home. I think the UKAF team, what Sarah, the head coach, has done really well is she's allowed every player to have a start in the tournament so far. Everyone's played meaningful minutes, which has allowed people to put a claim for places, and there's competition for places. It also means that other players aren't playing the whole tournament, and by doing that, they're really fresh. They've had the last couple of minutes, 20 minutes against Zambia was a little bit, concerning from their point of view. But let's not forget they won, and they won well, and they're top of their group. And as I say, what happened 2 to 3 days ago doesn't matter today. It's all about how you front up and you do the nuts and bolts.
It's such a special tournament. It's gathered so much interest over the last couple of weeks internationally as well, which has been brilliant, and we're so happy we've been able to provide that. With the Rugby World Cup going on in the background as well, it's a really good place to be, and the facilities we've had for Richmond to give us a prime Saturday to have this tournament must be brilliant for those taking part, but also the rest of us supporting and watching. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this is a premier rugby club in the country, and we're looking at the tournament at the business end as well. This is well deserving of this venue. If you were at Aldershot for the games this week, you would have been. It was to another level. You'd have been blown away, and the tournament has taken on its own personality. We're not referring to New Zealand so much now. We're referring to this tournament, and the Fijians, the Zambians, the Irish, the Tongans come in and play in their game. The French, the Australians. That's a true World Cup. So if this is a great day, and if this is anything like, and as I expect it to be, like the Aldershot games, we're in for a treat today.
Just finally, I know you are still involved, and I know that you still speak to them, but when you're at a tournament like this and you're helping us with commentary and presentation duties and all the rest of it, is there a small part of you that wants to be back in there in the changing room?
I'd be a liar if I said no. I mean, every rugby person wants to play. Once that's taken away from you, if you find another vocation, coaching, I love coaching, and a lot of time into a lot of the service rugby. But do you know what? I'm really pleased to see Sarah Mitchelson take over from me, take it to better things, and do well, because that's what it's about. Every coach eventually will be replaced, and you've just got to accept that. And actually, when you're replaced by someone who's a quality person and a quality coach, you're here to support.
That's the thing. You can sit back and try and relax and watch in that way.
Relax. Well, I won't go that far, but until the final whistle. But yeah, look, they are their own team, and it's rightly so that Sarah and her team take their opportunity today.
Brilliant. Well, thanks to John. You'll be hearing him on commentary in the second game, which is Fiji up against the Irish Defence Forces. But for now, let's go to rugby royalty in the commentary box. We've got Simon Hunter, and he's joined by Rocky Clark and Erica Mills.
And then I'll just introduce us and get going, really. Well, no matter which way you look at it, this promises to be an absolute belter. the home side against the defending champions. As sporting rivalries go, Le Crunch is right up there for a semi-final showdown today in Richmond. UKAF, the table toppers in Pool A, and France coming second in Pool B. They've had very different paths, of course, to this point. UKAF seeing off Tonga and Ireland before a tougher test against Zambia, while France beat Australia in their first game before losing to a Fijian side reduced to 13 players at one point, and beating the Vodafone Looseheads as well. Well, it's an absolute joy to be welcoming back on commentary someone who's been with us most of the IDRC, Erica Kiwi Mills, resplendent in that fantastic shirt today. And indeed as well, great to have back with us World Cup winner, the Red Roses, Rocky Clark. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're all grand here. It's a stunning day. The pitch is looking fabulous and the crowd is getting hyped. It's going to be a big one.
Absolutely, and Kiwi, from what we've seen so far, it seems as if things just keep getting better and better in terms of quality as we go through the competition.
Yeah, we've definitely seen teams throughout the competition build in each fixture, and I think today is going to be an absolute showcase of two very capable sides.
Well, two teams going head-to-head for a chance to get to Wednesday's final at Kingsholm Stadium in Gloucester. And two teams who play quite a similar style of rugby. We've seen numerous different varieties of rugby, if you like, through the tournament. Both northern and southern hemisphere styles represented beautifully. The players just lining out there on the lush green grass ahead of the national anthems.
You are able to please stand for the national anthems, starting with France. Please remain standing for the national anthem of the United Kingdom.
Pride and passion on show, La Marseillaise and God Save the King. A chance now for the players ahead of kick-off to shake off any last-minute nerves, and a chance for us to look at those two sides, starting with the UK Armed Forces. The key combination back together in the half-backs, Lucy Nye and Daisy Fahey continuing their brilliant form. The impressive Heidi Silcox continuing in the second row. What a performance we've seen from her in the competition, especially with ball in hand in that strong pack. And Ola Proctor moving to the right wing to replace Daisy Aspinall and Rose Dixon at 13. For France, it's familiarity in the front row with Aricastre, Suillard and Leduc, and skipper Jodie May Romero at 9, with Melissa Bergeron just outside her in the 10 shirt, and the slippery pace, how could we forget, Océane Buisson at 15. Mitchell Egan of Australia, the referee today, as Daisy Fahey waits with ball in hand. And what an absolute belter we have in store for you today here in Richmond. First of two semi-final matches, and doubleheader gets underway. Ball goes straight into touch, not making 10. And first opportunity to have a look at these packs.
Just a touch of nerves there from Fahey. She doesn't get it 10, but there's a lot of pressure on this to try and get your kick-off back. But coming back to the scrum, that's a platform that they want to play off. There's some big girls in that France side.
We've seen very impressive performances from the UKAF pack, and against Zambia at Aldershot last week. Plenty of opportunities for them to demonstrate the power of their rolling mole close to the line. Quite a few tries coming in that form as well. And the scrum doing well. Is an interesting mix of experience and some youth in that pack. As Romero gets that ball, looking up now for Bergeron. And a little dummy finding a little bit of space. UKAF tracking back, and Buisson trying to make sure they don't give that 15 too much space today. They know her threat at fullback. And Kiwi, a day, of course, when defences are going to be tested resolutely.
Yeah, I think the defensive efforts from both teams have been tested so far, especially in the Fiji game for France and the Zambia game in particular for the UK Armed Forces.
Well, just a moment of slight concern there for UKAF defence. France finding a little bit of space, but UKAF penalty allows them to execute the exit. Daisy Fahey.
Yeah, it's a good carry from Barret, going through, quite narrow in the UKAF defence there and getting out the fend, going down the edge. There was that cover tackle needed, and then just got himself out of jail, but only to the 22.
Ray Messers, vastly experienced Army and UKAF hooker. With ball in hand for this line out. Trying to find Silcox, ball coming back on the French side of things. And a dangerous moment there, Audrey Barut taking ball into contact. French forwards go through Suillard, the hooker. Romero coming back to Bergeron, looking for the crossfield kick option. Buisson waiting outside with Carrasquet. But a UKAF penalty once again, and a sigh of relief for them again.
Yeah, we've seen an early, obviously line-out read there. Up until this point, I would have said UKAF's set piece has been hugely consistent. So the French have obviously done their homework, as will have UKAF. So I think the first 5-10 minutes of the game, settle out and ride out those nerves, and then hopefully come into their own, particularly in the set piece where we know that they have strength and can capitalise on that, especially for a territory game.
Fahey with the clearance into touch, just around about the halfway mark. And both sides with a little bit of possession so far, neither going through too many phases just yet. Expecting on this lush surface to see plenty of good running rugby as well. And Jade Mullen back in the starting 15 today. Ellie Brightwell, number 21 shirt, making her debut only a few weeks ago against England students. Coming through, Amy Reynolds, the headband running through there. Lucy Nye screaming for that ball, and advantage being played as well. Dixon, Navy skipper, coming through. Nye again, such speed of service as we've become accustomed to. Looking for her options up there, choosing Brightwell on this occasion.
We've seen some really, really strong carries from Brightwell. She obviously capped with England students before the tournament started. And I think she is one of the players in UKAF that has definitely grown with the tournament, especially in defence. Her defensive efforts, which I hope we see today, have definitely set her apart from some of the players in this tournament.
UKAF making their way deeper into the French half. An opportunity here, of course, with the penalty. Fahey ball in hand. Let's see what yardage they can gain.
I think this is important, side, that they take the territory where they can. I think, like I said, apart from that first line out, the set piece is very dependable. So getting us into a really positive area in the pitch, ready to launch an attack.
Rocky, of course, both these sides with strong set pieces, liking to play through those, although of course commentators curse that ball just going a little long and coming back on the French side of things.
Yeah, your set piece is your bread and butter. We know the French side are very, very strong, but UKAF have used that as a real platform for their speedsters to play off, and The French are just capitalising a little bit on UKAF's errors, maybe a few nerves rattling away there, but they've just got to play their way out.
Bergeron looking to clear. The ball only goes as far as Jasmine Abel, who's really been making that shirt her own Abel at fullback, the Navy 15. And Nye trying to chip that through. And good footwork there from the number 9. A bit of a fumble from Bergeron, but going back for the knock-on.
Yeah, that's two errors from the French 10 there, which we haven't seen in this competition, both with the exit kick and the fumble there. So you can see early on that the pressure is being felt by both sides, and I think it will be the team that can capitalise on each other's nerves that will come out on top with the first points.
I'll put in for Lucy Nye and UKAF.
Well, Leduc just got the nudge in the first scrum, so all to play for now. It's really important that this front row get across the mark, assert themselves, stay in that low position and just hold on. Solid at the moment. And Nye is just, she's just knocked it on. I think one of the players lifted it up to her, which threw her and just dropped it forward.
Oh, characteristically, of course, as you say, she's been so accurate, Lucy Nye. Just a little momentary bit of bad luck for the UKAF scrum half. And nevertheless, similar position, the French put in this time.
Well, yeah, it's rare you talk about Lucy Nye making mistakes, and she actually was one of the players of the rounds for me, as we put out on the socials yesterday. And just her delivery, her class, her ability with ball in hand, she just orchestrates so well what happens in this UKAF back line, and the forwards getting that front foot, like we've heard Silcox and Reynolds and Miller just doing really well getting on that front foot.
Wasn't an easy selection for you, Rocky. Those players of the pool. We've seen such quality on all the sides, and I guess the good weather of late as well has made it fairly entertaining in terms of throwing the ball around and lots of tries being scored.
Yeah, indeed. There were so many players that stood out, and there's probably 4 or 5 at least from this UKAF side, but massive monster scrum from France there. Surprised no penalty was given.
Moving it through the backs now, and Buisson, what space can she find? Rapid pace as well. Just kicking that through. And UKAF will, of course, been doing their homework this week on Buisson, seeing what she's done against the other sides.
She is one of their dependable backs that can create something from nothing, and even there I think there was no need for her to kick that. Had she just looked right or had the comms from the outside, it was a 2-on-1. So yeah, again, another example of where decision making might not be at its best right now, but equally good to see that it's still 0-0 game, both obviously playing for territory at the minute.
Well, that ball going into the hands of the French, not what UKAF will have been looking for with that line out. Romero looking for quick ball now. Bergeron summing up her options in midfield, and Orla Proctor coming through very quickly there. Harlequin's centre, playing on the right wing today, of course. Trying to storm through the middle is that French pack. UKAF trying to spread their numbers in defence. And that's good from Suillard, the hooker. That's very, very good indeed. And getting the ball through the hands. This is wonderful from the French at the very beginning of this game. And what a brilliant start for the defending champions. A try in the first 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, that came back to not the bit of scramble defence from UKAF, not quite having the numbers in around the ruck, and a half break from their flanker, I believe it was, that then got the momentum and got them on the front foot for that try.
Yeah, all started off by Leduc with a hard carry, little tip on out to Morel, who just penetrated that seam and was able to get the UKAF on the back foot, played the ball out wide. It was Ripen who had the ball in hand and then just put away her winger, Kasagay, who just whizzed over, scored in the corner, and they've been threatening all game so far. And it's, yeah, UKAF has got to have the chat under the post and sort their defence out.
Adeline Carrasquet, the specialist French Air Force representative in this side. French Air and Space Force playing in Pau in the south of France. And a dream start for the French. And not making the conversion, so 5-0 remains the score. Just under 10 minutes played here in Richmond.
Here then at the Richmond
I'm hoping that the huddle under the post there for UKAF was to trust each other in defence a bit more and spread width. We're seeing quite a narrow defence at the minute with a lot of work to do and ground to cover on the edges, and we know that is the back three for France are a huge threat. So hopefully that was the fix.
Yeah, that space being utilised out wide and UKAF being caught a little bit narrow at times in defence. And an opportunity for that UKAF defence to have to step up again here. French ball in hand, just outside their 22. A little bit of pressure on the kick there. And Abel takes it back to Fahey, putting in one of her own, but only so far as Bergeron. Running the ball back beautifully there. It's very, very nice. Positive rugby from the French so far. Lovely from Marie Amon, the open side flanker today. Just a little delay in that ball coming through to Manon Leduc. Out it comes once more. UKAF trying to rush that. Orla Proctor up very, very quickly indeed. Just ball being knocked forward. And Buisson can't quite get it at the first attempt, but manages to hold on. And coming back for that original knock-on.
Well, there was a massive hit there from Benavent from UKAF against Leduc, opposite woman. And you can just see what UKAF are trying to do. They're trying to get real line speed to hit player and ball, and they managed to do that with Proctor, but it's just the risk. If France can get that ball out wide, they are running into loads of space, and as you've already alluded to with Kiwi, the threat in that back three is massive, so you've got to stop them getting the ball. I'm just concerned it's a little bit tight around the fringes from UKAF, which is allowing masses of space out wide for that French attack.
Romero with the push in. And being wheeled around as that scrum.
Yeah, agreed with you there, Rocky. Defensively, I imagine UKAF will want to put that pressure on. We saw that's how Fiji ended up beating France, was putting that pressure on the 10 and onto their critical playmakers. So I would echo that, and that would be definitely a part of my strategy if I was the coaching team. Like you say, though, sometimes it's high risk, high reward, which is probably what we'll see. But for now, that maintaining that pressure is what I think we'll see.
Just a bit of medical attention being sought there as the players take a bit of a pause in proceedings. Of course, the first match today of a very exciting doubleheader, the semi-finals at the IDRC. How on earth have we got to this stage already? It's been 2 weeks of scintillating stuff, and Ray Metters just being checked over to make sure she's okay. Carry on. Fiji, Ireland later on after this match. Of course, both winners making it into Wednesday's final. Metters up and moving.
Yeah, it's that time in the tournament, isn't it, Si? There's been 3 games in 9 days for a lot of these teams, and I think attritionally that's going to be taking its toll, especially when you've got such a physical game with such physical ball carriers. So it's inevitable that little knocks will creep in and will occur during this game. But yeah, 3 games in 9 days is a big ask for anyone, I think.
Well, of course, let us know where you're watching today. It's great to have your company on the BFBS Forces News YouTube channel. Of course, our socials as well, as you've seen our behind-the-scenes content on Instagram. And do get in touch with us there too. And Rocky as well, getting in touch with you. Where can they get in touch?
Yeah, they can message me and I can get a shout out, Rocky Clark _1. Tell us your thoughts on the game and we will certainly get them read out. But at the moment, it's going toe-to-toe in an epic battle.
BFBS Forces News you can search for as well on Instagram. We'd love to hear from you. And the French would dearly love to march up this field as their forwards attempt. And Ellie Brightwell and Heidi Silcox trying to hold them right back. Well, it'll be a UKAF put in, much to their delight, having had to defend hard in these last 5 minutes.
That was massive from Mullen, wasn't it? He just went in, clamped on the ball, helped out by her pals, and then that turnover was vital.
Well, it's been a physical affair so far, of course. This match, as we'd expect it would be. And Metters again. Well, this time, sorry to say, she's making her move off the field. And Lou Langton coming on. Greatly experienced hooker for the Royal Air Force and for the UK Armed Forces, Lou Langton. And sad to see so early in the match, Ray Metters, she's certainly played her part in this tournament so far.
Yeah, sad to see a player of the quality that Metters has, but she's really carrying that knock. She doesn't want to come off, but it's quite a hard one to take. But she's had a sublime tournament, a real physical person.
Yeah, Ray's someone who plays with her heart on her sleeve and brings a lot of experience to that pack. So good opportunity for Lou here, and hopefully not too damning on the squad's morale. But yeah, really sad to see there for Ray.
Well, so much pressure being put on UKAF in that scrum, coming away with the ball, and French trying to hold it up. Jasmine Abel getting the ball back to her teammates through the hands of Nye into Silcox. Silcox has been so important in that pack as well, with her leadership and experience. Fahey kicking that ball, but only so far as her opposite number 10, Bergeron. And Melanie Bousquet being given a good afternoon there from the UKAF defence.
Again, another massive hit from Mullen. She's really asserting herself in this defensive effort. Manages to shove him into touch as well as a big hit. Proctor as well, taking person and ball and managed to get the offload away, and then Mullen comes across, the saviour of the day, smashes him into touch. There's a couple of things now she's been involved with. Now they have to make sure they make this count, win the line out and get some front foot ball with this exciting back line.
Sort of player, Jade Mullen, who looks for those sorts of moments of contact as well. Always looks for that work in defence, not just with ball in hand. And that's out quickly through Fahey. Brightwell this time in midfield, as we've seen her the last couple of weeks being used as an option. Nye down the shorter side now. Proctor out to Grundy, a fellow Royal Air Force teammate.
That back ball as well can't go unnoticed. That's a lot of pressure for a new hooker coming on to hit back ball and execute it. So credit there to Lou. Obviously we saw a defensive challenge from the French, but set a great platform for UKAF.
Benevent taking that forward. Nice, spreading it out through the hands of the backs. Langton with that dummy run. Now to Dainton. Dual code star, Welsh international Bethan Dainton. Out it comes, and Langton looking to crash through there, but France have done well to rip that ball. Jasmine Abel trying to stop things. Bergeron. France recycle the ball and taking at real pace there as well. That's fantastic work from Suillard and the fellow French pack, and Orla Proctor coming in very, very hard indeed in defence. Advantage being played as well for France. Bergeron, somewhat of a looping pass, that doesn't help Buisson at all. And Grundy up very quickly, but referee will come back for the penalty.
We've seen that time and time again from Suillard. Her physicality, she makes it known, and yeah, I think the UKAF side have definitely done a lot of work on their defensive effort and doubling up in the tackles, and she's one of those players that you need to spot and commit at least two people to stop her, because she will take people with her, and she's done that all tournament.
Yeah, her leg drive is insane, isn't it? I bet she can shift some weights in the gym. She's got such great leg drive. If you don't get round those big thighs, then she's just going to keep on driving and you're going to jump on the back for the ride.
Another French visit to the UKAF 22. Suillard with ball in hand for this line out. Here it comes to the middle of that line out. The driving maul coming out for the French. What have UKAF got in defence here as the French edge ever closer to that whitewash? Advantage being played as well. Fantastic scoring opportunity for France. Romero looking for that ball. A little frustrated there, not coming as quickly as she would like, but Bergeron getting that out at pace and trying to take that was Eloise Bouret. Oh, they come back for the penalty nevertheless.
One of the defensive questions that we've gone back and forth with, Rocky, over this tournament is obviously under the new laws with competing at the line out and whether or not it's straight and what's given as a result. There, obviously, we didn't see UKAF compete, but I'd be interested to get your thoughts on whether or not you should, in case of that opportunity, or whether you think too much is lost by not by competing in a potential maul.
Yeah, we're just seeing little offloading here. They might get a little score. We'll come back to that.
Looked as if there might have been a little knock on, but the ref plays on anyway. And Swiard coming through the middle. Forwards trying to pick and drive as well, around the fringes of that breakdown. Ball comes back. Just a little slower this time from France, but it's coming over the line, and they've scored once more, the second for France this afternoon in this first semi-final of the IDRC, and increasing their lead, the French.
Second try of the afternoon.
Yeah, another big try from France. It was Ripen who went over, and you've always got to worry when a big pack is 5 metres away from the try line. They obviously had them all, nobody competed. They drove really close, gave away the penalty, did UKAF, and then come back. And the opportunity for the big forwards to the pick and go was just an easy pick off in the end. How to defend that is to get real line speed, get players doubling up, tripling up, one going really low, one going high to try and dislodge the ball. You need pace. You cannot afford them to get a trundle on, even if it's a metre that they pick up and drive, because already they're over the try line with their momentum. So you've got to, as soon as there's a little bit of daylight, fly up and hit them 2 persons at a time.
Conversion's good this time from Bergeron. 12 points to 0, France lead UKAF. Just over 20 minutes gone in Richmond.
Just coming back to your point, Kiwi, about contesting at the line out, I would always prefer my team to contest unless you've got a fire-assured way of disrupting. The bonus of staying down is everyone's in their position, so as soon as their toe hits a piece of grass, you can disrupt, so you're trying to break that seal between the lifters and the jumper. But if you don't get it right, you lose momentum and they get a free shot at the line out as well.
UKAF trying to put pressure from the restart on that collection. France retain the ball. And Chantal Miller coming through at pace there. What a luxury for head coach Sarah Mitchelson to have the likes of Miller and Dainton with their experience alongside Brightwell. Fantastic talent, making her debut so recently, and a bit of a mistake there from the French, allowing UKAF to have a line out here just into the French 22.
Yeah, the back row for me today are full of experience, full of versatility. They're not out-and-out jackalers. They're very much the complete package in my mind. Chantal as well, hugely experienced, and obviously Cat for Wales previously, so she brings that leadership and that experience into this side. The
referee just having a word with the French there, marching them back. Another opportunity here with the penalty for UKAF to take that quickly. Benevent, powerful runner from tight head prop Sophie Benevent.
Now you're seeing something from France which is really clever. They've done it a few times. They're targeting the ball. So when a player runs in a little bit upright and they've got 2 people on, one underneath the ball and one going for legs, there's an opportunity where they're trying to rip the ball. They have given away the penalty, but that is something that UKAF need to deal with in this next 60 minutes.
Close to that 5 metre line, UKAF. As the line out opportunity beckons for Lou Langton. On the pitch as an impact replacement, with Ray Metters having gone off a short time ago. And through it comes Bethan Dainton. It's a clean take and it's a driving maul for UKAF. Can they respond here? The women in purple getting very, very close to that whitewash. They've got over. UKAF respond and hit back.
Yeah, amazing efforts there, and a successful line-out. That back ball is clearly working for the UK Armed Forces. Scorer Sarah Batley, you could see with her emotion in her celebration there, that means a lot. And for me, we've seen it a lot of times in this tournament. There will be a dip in France's discipline in their 22, and teams have been able to capitalise on that, and that is what we've seen there, is a little bit of ill discipline from France and the UK Armed Forces capitalising. Up until that point, their defensive efforts, especially in midfield and in their opposite 22, has been unfaultable.
Another try for Sarah Batley, try scorer against Zambia in Aldershot last week, as Daisy Fahey lines up the conversion attempt. Which is a good one. UKAF move to within 5 points of that French score. 12-7 they trail here in Richmond, just under 25 minutes played.
Well, that was a huge score from Batley, the stalwart of the team. She's one of the first picks on the team list. Her work rate to get around, and what I loved about UKAF, the absolute confidence to throw back ball, get the drive in, stay in. That's one of the worrying things off of forwards, if they get excited and peel off. But that was textbook and absolutely needed to stop the momentum of the French.
Good work from that front row. Sophie Benavent with ball in hand as well, trying to punch a hole in that French defence, and just allowing UKAF a bit more space too.
I'd just love to see UKAF maybe getting a bit of a latch on to try and get through that double tackle. At the moment, the double tackle is slowing UKAF down, so if they can really work on getting that front foot, getting over the gain line, that's really going to start to make France to be on the back foot. And we know, as Kiwi's already said, maybe a little bit of ill discipline is going to come in, but also fitness as well. There's a couple of big units out there. It's quite warm, and I know as a big unit myself that you blow a gasket in the end. So if you can weather this storm, they're in for a real chance.
I think you'd be wanting to take that ball out wide. Come on, Rocky Clark.
Well, the odd missed pass has come in here and there. Normally goes into touch because nobody reads me, but, I blame it on them.
Yeah, for all of those listening whose fault it's been in the past, there you go. And Bethan Dainton comes around, peels off the back of that scrum. That's nice work.
What we saw in the lead up to that side was the exact efforts of a side competing at the line out. You can see UKAF up and disrupt, the ball wasn't straight, and then resulted in UKAF ball. But yeah, so just to kind of round off what we were saying about do we, don't we, as a defensive line out, that is a team that's reaping the repercussions of challenging.
Another penalty for UKAF. Fahey opting to punch this into touch, which she does. Yeah, keep your comments coming in. Mariette Claessens, let's go UKAF. Lele Bleu, Philippe Desirat. Wherever you may be, whether you're down the road in Richmond, in France, somewhere around the UK, or further afield. Joanne Coombs, come on UKAF, you can do this. Marie-Pierre Suillard as well, getting in touch. Great to hear from all of you. Do let us know where you're watching as well.
Yeah, a little bit of a fumble at the line out there. Went back onto UKAF's side, but back in French hands. I think we just need to tighten up our drills at the line out.
Very good work from UKAF, earning themselves the penalty in defence. Good jackling.
And as most UK and French encounters, we're seeing some verbal afters there, I think. But I think it just shows the passion and what it means to the players to get the win.
Absolutely. You see the stakes so high. Placing the final up for grabs. These two sides full of admiration and respect for each other. But on the pitch, the best of enemies. They love playing against each other. And similar sides.
I had a number of good battles when playing for England up against France. They're just so physical, so skillful, and obviously very, very passionate. And they're the best side to play. And it's, you know, seeing this all throughout this game.
Just reflects how much the IDRC has meant to all these players, the fans, those of you who've been watching as well from home as Benevent comes through. Nye now with quick ball again. Fahey to the hands of Grundy, just being spilled forward by Jazz Abel. Mitchell Egan coming back though for the penalty.
There are some firm wrongs to right as well from a UKAF perspective. Having played for UKAF in the 7s and the 15s where we came unstuck against the French, I know that there's that deeper determination than maybe previously, in that it doesn't go unnoticed how much of a fantastic team the French are, but it just gives that little edge on UKAF and their why, and obviously wanting to come away with the win today.
Well, what an opportunity into that French 22, go UKAF. About half an hour played in Richmond now. And they know how important it is to try and come away with points here of some sort.
Well, it all came from that massive run from Benevent again. She's carried so well. Absolute truck coming through. And that ability to get on that front foot just allows those backs to open up. And if that ball had gone in hand, we could have seen a try.
UKAF trying to get that mole rolling forward. France doing well just to hold things up a little bit. Lucy Nye trying to rip the ball back, but it goes into touch. The assistant referee with his flag up.
Yeah, seeing a bit of variation there. UKAF hitting front ball as opposed to back, and we've seen that throughout both of these teams, creating different attacking pitches constantly. So in terms of trying to predict what the other is going to do in which part of the pitch, neither team plays conventionally, and we have seen a lot of variety. There obviously UKAF not coming away with their attacking line-out, but disrupting the French one, as we've just seen.
That's the risk of throwing to the front, that they could get lodged into touch. But this is paying dividends for the UKAF side. They've got some quick ball now, playing out.
Dixon placing that ball back. Dainton now on it. Nye to Benevent. He's been used plenty in this match so far. Our opposite number doing well to Jacqueline. Brilliant from French defence, earning themselves the penalty. And a frustration for the purple shirts there.
Leduc with that great hands-on, just really quick. That's the only problem. If you get a little bit isolated from your support. You saw Benevent trying to stay over the ball, but Leduc was there because there'd been a low tackle, was just able to stay on her feet and get that holding on.
No mistake from the French, not going into touch. Fahey choosing route one on this occasion.
Great clear.
And nicely into the hands of Orla Proctor. We've seen her handoffs and the threat that she plays so far in this competition.
That's it, much better fast ball from UKAF there.
Trying to rush that French defence as much as they can. And Nye trying to get that ball back. Penalty coming for UKAF.
Tell you what, I know I've mentioned her a few times with her defensive effort, but Captain Jade Mullen, she's made some massive tackles. She's just cleared out 2 of those rucks like a missile. She has flew into there, absolutely obliterated the opposition. I could see her doing quite a good job at flanker, to be honest. That was incredible.
She's a frustrated back row by any chance?
Or a back row that can pass. Who knows?
Jade will absolutely lead with her defensive efforts. She will go hunting for a big collision, and she so often comes out on top. And that today will be the statement that I think the team might need at different times when, especially if the scoreline stays like this, it will lift the team and inject a bit of energy. And she is so good at doing that. She does it time and time again.
And that's what you want your captain doing, isn't it, Simon? Leading by example, rallying the troops and saying, hey, come with me. I'm going to put my body on the line. Are you joining me?
Mullen on a mission. Captain Fantastic, as we knew the term to become.
You've already written the headlines there. I love that. You can use them twice.
Yeah, we remember the banner, of course, that was lifted aloft when Mullen lifted the trophy at the inter-service victory back in the spring. And she's had plenty of success. Sarah Mitchelson, head coach of UKAF, of course, head coach of the Army as well. And the two in tandem have brought brilliant things to women's military rugby. Coming around the back is Repan, but being shoved back by UKAF. Nice defensive work from those in purple.
great break from Ellie Brightwell off the back of the scrum there. That's exactly what you want from your 7. And the 8 didn't make any ground. She went backwards, negative territory. So that you can't ask anything more. That is textbook defence off the back of the scrum from your flanker.
Yeah, and she's just getting in the eye of the kicker as well there, and just forcing that to be a shorter kick than the fly half would have liked it to have been. She's certainly making herself heard. Easy for me to say. I got my gum shield in. Sorry, folks.
You got the brief wrong for today, Rocky, is that it?
I did. It's a bit awkward to sit up here in my scrum hat, but, you know, we're all good.
Bright shirt from Kiwi, scrum cap from Rocky, and sadly nothing from me. That ball goes through the middle. Amy Reynolds, the Army second row. Silcox now. Now just finding a bit of
Finding a bit of grass to be shoved back into.
Yes.
She needed her forwards to look after her a bit better there. As a 9, I'd expect to be told off by a 9 then.
Yeah, definitely. I also would like to see a bit more ball speed from UKAF at the minute. I feel like they're allowing France a second or two to get set and bring that defensive line speed. So if they can just bring a little bit more tempo at the breakdown, I think there's opportunities both left and right.
Fahey spotting an opportunity for the crossfield kick. Proctor lurking on the outside. Mullen once again. Always seems to be there in attack and defence is Jade Mullen. Dynamic centre. Good work from Lucy Nye. French trying to come around the fringes of these rucks. Nice offloading there through the hands.
Get up, get up.
Oh, it's nicely done by Bourret. The ball coming out back to Bergeron.
Great defensive pressure from UKAF, but another example of where high risk, high reward. This time we're reaping the rewards by running that wedge defence on the edge. However, a step back inside, as we just saw from the number 13, Boire, can offset that defence. So great pressure from UKAF, but again, they've got to be ready to react if the back line of the French do put in some footwork, which we've seen a lot this tournament.
Yeah, and we're seeing the French forwards trying to rumble, get out of their 22, and it was the quick pick and goes, which UKAF defended the first couple, but then their defence, ironically, was a little bit wide because they'd lost their close guards, and then they're able just to pick through. I think it was Suillard who went through and was able to get that offload to Morel, and then just getting them on that back foot again. But yeah, you can really see the tempo from France when they want it, even just with the pick and goes with one person over the top, playing it out quick. But UKAF with Silcox to the rescue, made that tackle, forced the knock on.
12-7, France lead UKAF. For those of you joining us, the BFBS Forces News YouTube channel, just ahead of half-time. France going 12-0 up initially. UKAF getting that converted try back. Sarah Batley the scorer and Fahey adding the extras. It's been fascinating so far in Richmond. These teams sizing each other up in the early stages. And not too much in it. UKAF have had, both sides have had further chances to score. Both defences have been tested a lot today.
Yeah, and just to capitalise on what you were saying there about Heidi Silcox, she is the unsung hero for me in this UKAF side. I don't know if you'd agree, Rocky, but second row quite often is one of the positions where you aren't in a position to be able to be quick off the back of the scrum, so you don't necessarily in defence or attack get those opportunities to stand out. They do a lot of the hard yards, and Heidi's work rate is like unbelievable. She's a phenomenal player. She will get the team go forward in the dirty grey areas where no one wants to stick their head and no one wants to compete for that ball, and she is there. She will be there in support, she'll be there in attack and defence, and yeah, I can't sing her praises highly enough. Such a formidable player for me in this team.
I absolutely agree. Every time I've commentated on her, she stands out, and I just love that she can get that front foot ball just even by a little spin out of contact, and as you said, puts her body on the line, goes through those little tiny gaps, burrows her way through, but is able to rally her troops as well. And yeah, somebody that you again would have on that team sheet every day of the week.
Nye with the put in. France doing very well and pulling that back, but it's a UKAF penalty.
Yeah, you could really see that clearly, the French, and this is a tactic sometimes they've used against England, that they like to stand up. They don't sometimes want to stay in the fight where it's down and dirty. Can they get underneath and flick them up? And that was quite obvious. Then, fair play, they've got a number of tactics at the scrum, but that one didn't work. So an opportunity for UKAF just outside the 22. If they can get clean ball off the top, let this back line unleash, I think we'll see something special.
And how special it would be if they could draw level or beyond here, if they can get a score. UKAF heading into the interval. Mullen out the back to Fahey, looping round. Kim Grundy taking it at pace is Jazz Abel. Very close to that 22 now, UKAF. Quick ball they want. Fahey looking for her options inside as well. Here it comes through now once again. Bethan Dainton. She's been a star right across the pitch in this campaign. And Mullen now to Dixon, flying that out to Jazz Abel. What space have they got on the outside? Kim Grundy prowling on that left wing. Coming to Benevent this time. The power of the tight head. Now to Miller.
Just where they needed that latch then, just to shove her through, to push that defence back.
The ball going back and spilling loose. Mullen doing well to try and clean up with Buisson hot on her heels, and France earned the penalty. And costly for UKAF.
Yeah, France's defence were very, very well swept up there. They were patient, their spacing was good, their body positions were great. For UKAF, they are absolutely attacking where they should. France's defence from the inside out has been very consistent this tournament, and a slightly wider ball and a tip-on option is where you'd want to attack France, but in that instance, their defensive efforts paid off there. Great defence from them.
We're just seeing Mullen talking to the ref, and she feels hard done by, and I actually feel for her, because she went back, dived on that ball, got up, and then she was penalised for holding on, but I'm not convinced she was let go.
Anaël Suillard with the throw. Pressure on Romero there from 9 Silcox, but does well to dummy and take it into contact. Round the side is Audrey Barou.
So that's where you needed that line speed there. Let Barou come up then, and because she was able to leg drive, she was able to get them on the back foot. If you can fly up like Nye did at the back of that line out, you're going to get so much more return.
Romero to Bergeron. Just pushing that inside. Chantal Miller trying to rip that ball, but it's gone forward. And coming out to Ripin and Barou again. And it's good handling, good offloading as well. Melanie Busquet, the left wing, as France get themselves back into that UKAF 22. Out it comes into Aricast. And they rumble on to the defending champions. Well, back inside to Clémence Ripin. Lucie Nye defending earnestly. Out again, and just bouncing defenders off her is Manon Leduc. Barou. UKAF really under pressure here at the try line, and it's another one for France just before the interval. They've come away with another try, and it's Anaël Suillard with the score.
Yeah, another example of French just capitalising on their momentum and using the prowess of their forward pack there in their 22. I think UKAF up until that point had some credible defensive shots, both one-on-one and as a defensive unit. But yeah, obviously to the demise of the power that was felt by Suillard in that instance.
France extending their lead. So far 17-7, 10-point lead before the conversion attempt. Bergeron looking to push that between the uprights, which she does. 19 points to 7. France lead Another try for them. Half-time in Richmond, the first game of a doubleheader of semi-finals today. And a quick summation from both of you. Firstly, Kiwi, from what you've seen.
I think both sides are playing exactly how we anticipated. Actually, prior to this game, I would have said they play very similar in their styles of play. So we've seen some big, powerful carries up the middle, but also some expansive play. I think, so if I was France now going into half-time, I would come back out with the impetus of utilising the power of their pack. UKAF haven't quite figured out their numbers in defence to nullify the threats that they've got up front. We haven't seen too much of their back line, so I'll be interested to see them getting to the game in the second half. And for UKAF, for me, it's fringe defence and it's doubling up on the tackles in the critical areas of the pitch. Attacking wise, use the territory game. We've got a really dependable boot in Daisy Farhay. Get us down to the far end of their pitch. Have patience in that area and use what's working, because for me, France's defence and consistency in their line out is to be challenged, and I think that's where we can capitalise.
What would you be saying, Rocky, at half-time if you were Sarah Mitchelson in that UKAF dressing room?
Yeah, I've certainly been saying, you know, you've done some great stuff, but we need to do more of it. As Kiwi said, play in the right areas, but it's about being smart now with their defensive efforts, because they're getting off the line well in those wider channels, but it's around the fringes that it's really costly. So they've got to make sure as soon as she picks the ball up that they fly and get her, and they have to double up. There was one chance when a player went a little bit high and got dragged along, and that was a 5-metre gain for the French, and everyone else is then running back to retreat and not getting off the line to make those tackles. So that would be a key area. And then in attack, because you're getting double tackled, can you get latched over that gain line as a forward? We need more players fronting up, like Benavent carrying really well, but we need some extra bodies doing that. I want to see Beth Dainton in the wider channels, not doing those high collision contacts. Leave that to the big girls. She can do the fast ones like Brightwell and Miller.
Absolutely. Half-time now. We'll be back very shortly with action from the second half. A couple of features to show you. Coming from a country known for its cuisine and delicacies, how do some of the French players go when they try a steak bake, of all things? But that's coming up just after we show you some highlights of the action from yesterday's play.
She's at lightning pace, and she's going to go through and score the try. And that is a fantastic try.
Two very one-sided games have put Australia and Zambia through to the Challenge Cup final of the International Defence Rugby Competition. In match one at Guildford Rugby Club, the Australian right wing Charlize Lloyd-Phillips got the green and gold underway before Stella Tiju scored 2 of a 5-try haul. The left wing also slotted home 8 conversions. Two each from Hannah Clark and Brittany Fuller. And a hat-trick from fly half Madeline Matthews contributed to the ladies from Down Under crossing the line 16 times in a determined performance, securing them a massive 98-12 win over Tonga. The Tongans, who could only manage 2 tries and a conversion in 80 minutes, still looked a vastly improved side than the one that was steamrolled to nothing in their first 2 games. Australia, though, played with so much pride, something that would have been dented by failing to make it out of the Pool B group of death behind France and Fiji. Losing by only 5 and 6 points respectively in those fixtures was especially tough for a team who deserved to go further. In the second match, which was delayed twice due to lightning in the area, Zambia ran in 11 tries to give them a 67-5 victory over the Vodafone Looseheads. Lashomu Luena and Jessie Juma took centre stage, both scoring a hat-trick, and Luena also proving her worth with the boot, kicking 6 successful conversions. In atrocious and clearly unpredictable conditions, Zambia again showed off their full skill set and flair style, which has lit up the IDRC. We can only wonder what would have happened had they not been delayed by visa issues and had arrived in time to play their first match against the Irish Defence Force. In reply, the Looseheads again struggled to penetrate the opposition's defence, but when they scored, it was a good one. Hannah Thornhill touching down just after half-time to get the Reds on the scoreboard. These teams will all play their final games at Newbury on Tuesday this week.
She's at lightning pace, and she's going to go through and score the try. And that is a fantastic try.
What is that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
It was disgusting.
I think they're enjoying it.
In French? Why do you want this?
In England, we have a place called Greg's. Have you heard of Greg's?
No.
Okay. So, you don't have to, but we would like you to try. So one is steak, one is vegetarians?
Yes.
Vegetarian?
Vegetarian?
No, this one.
So
Okay.
Okay. What is that? Oh my god.
Yeah. So if you could give it a try
Okay.
and tell us what you think.
Okay. I have an idea. It was
I
disgusting.
think we try this for the lunch, maybe.
Okay.
Something like that.
Out of 10? I think they're enjoying it. It's okay?
It's
Un petit 6 6 sur 10
ouais.
6
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't make it, so it's fine. You can
Ah,
say 5,
no.
you can say 4.
But in France, we have so
Ouais.
more
In French?
foods.
Why do you want this?
You can give that back. I mean, you can keep it or you can give it back. It's up to you.
No.
I'm sorry. Three, two, one.
Becky's got such a small forehead. It's actually balance it. We can't come last.
Hiya, hiya. Ready? Oh, that's yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
So we're gonna win. But yeah, we don't. Oh my god, the ball's loose. So smooth. So we can start. Big time, girls. Go practice up. Oh yeah, dive. Oh wait, no, what did they get again? 15. They got 15.
They got 15.
The first one's got right? We said that. It was about technique in the end, I think.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, go, just go. Just go. Keep going, keep going. Wait, no, but don't. Go. No, what's that in? Oh, nice for you. Oh, no, I'll do that. What?
Come on. 9 seconds, is that here? Yes!
She's at lightning pace, and she's going to go through and score the try. And that is a fantastic try.
Welcome back to Richmond for this IDRC semi-final, the first in a double-header today. UKAF trailing France by 19 points to 7 after 40 minutes played. France going 12-0 up. And then that Sarah Batley converted try bringing things closer for UKAF. A 5-point deficit at that point, but another converted try for the French just before the interval, pushing their lead back to 12 points. But as we've seen in this tournament, the game's so close to call, and the contests have just been a real treat to watch. And we expect nothing less from this second half in this match. Erica Kiwi-Mills back with us on co-commentary duties, and Rocky Clark as well. And Kiwi, what an opportunity to try and come from behind, which they have to do, of course, UKAF here in this second half. And an opportunity to... They've seen what's happened in the first half and what their defence will have to do with these French challenges out wide as well.
Yeah, this is the first time over the last few fixtures in this tournament and prior to this tournament where UKAF have been behind and realistically got an opportunity to come forward and win the game. I think against the England students, the scoreline was much bigger at half-time, so it would have been a really tall order for them to come back. It'll be interesting to see how they apply themselves in this second half. However, they have got the makings to absolutely come out and take the momentum from the whistle in the second half, and I really, obviously, half biased, but hope that that's what they do. Equally for France, I don't think a lot changes. They haven't had as much attacking ball, and I think that's credit to UKAF defence, but I think we'll see a bit more expansive play from them in the second half.
And key, Rocky, for UKAF to have that patience, because they've had opportunities in the French 22 and quite a few times coming away having scored no points from those chances.
Yeah, patience is key here. They got the build-up play, they're doing really well. They've got the referee on side pretty much that second half of the first half and being able to kick to the corners, but it's about making sure they win their set piece, make sure that they can play off fast ball. It's really key. And then, as I said earlier, those double tackles are vital, and don't let them get quick ball off of the pick and goes.
Well, the French team coming back onto the pitch, led by Romero, the scrum half, and UKAF as well, led by Jade Mullen. She's been colossal with her tackling today, Mullen, and in attack as well. What can they conjure up? They need to strike hard, one feels, very early in the second half, for them at least to feel as if they're on the ascendancy again in this contest.
I'm going to go with the notion that they're echoing the efforts of the Lionesses and putting themselves in a position where they're behind but are absolutely going to come out on top at the end of it. I think we're going to see some more commendable defensive efforts from Jade and hopefully the other players. I really hope that's what's been laboured at half-time. And attack, just getting the ball, keeping the ball.
Brightwell with a good take, running onto it, but being hammered back. Manon Leduc at the centre of that tackle. Ball coming back to Fahey, kicks it. And as far as Ripin, French number 8, up to Bergeron. And Buisson looking to use her handoffs in her running game, only getting half through there on this occasion.
Leduc's defensive efforts in the first half were immense, and her attacking efforts as well. So she's obviously a hugely physical player, and she's making herself heard and felt early on in this second half.
Oh, ball spills forward off French hands into Rose Dixon, UKAF number 13. Dainton plays makeshift scrum half, passes it to the try scorer Batley. Lucy Nye to Fahey, and getting that over the top, out towards Mullen, over the head of Chantel Miller. Nifty handling so far from UKAF in this set of phases. Dainton looking to move back inside.
As you mentioned at half-time, Rocky, we almost want to see Bethan Dainton outside the 10. We wanted to see her capitalising on her speed and her versatility and her footwork in the wider channels and linking up with the wider backs. I think that's where she can really change the game for this second half.
Yeah, and especially against a tiring French side. Obviously, they've all had their carb gels and they're ready to rock and roll for the next 10-15, but we should see them tire. But that's when we've got to see the speedsters of UKAF take on those one-on-one battles and go against tired bodies, use the handoff, use their speed.
Ball goes long into the hands of Benevent. He recycles. They're going through the backs, and Dixon goes to ground. Mullen this time to Jazz Abel.
What we've seen quite a lot in the French's defence in this tournament, Si, is they're very intelligent with when they do and don't challenge at the ruck. We saw there the 12 had eyes on that there was number, the UKAF had an overlap out wide, so she iced the ruck and pushed out. Really, really intelligent defensive options from them. And obviously now they've turned the ball over as a result of it.
Some frustration there visible from Daisy Fahey as France get the penalty.
And the thing is, by doing that, they're forcing UKAF to put numbers in. UKAF are overfilling their breakdown on one of them and they're getting slightly short as they go wider back across the grain. So then that's when they're able to get that holding on penalty that we're just seeing them capitalise on. But Mullen's going through, nailing players. A couple of them are coming up sore from these breakdowns.
Well, she's popping up all over the pitch, Jade Mullen, with those tackles. Some medical attention being delivered to the French side.
Yeah, it's Bouton who'd got annihilated then. I think she's going to have to come off. Looks like she's getting...
Looks to be in quite a bit of pain.
Or maybe she's just getting strapped going back on.
Well, the players laying it all down, of course. Nothing left on the field at the end of this match. They know what awaits the victors. That final at Kingsholm on Wednesday.
You just wonder if the referee would say play on because the player's not needed for the line out. But it is a French put in.
Andrea Chastain warming up on the touchline for the French. Number 21. Well, it's been great to see such positive rugby being played throughout this tournament as well. Teams looking to score tries, teams looking to find those spaces and to entertain the crowds that have turned up. Another healthy one here at Richmond today. We hope that'll be the case, of course, through the entire day. And that's been a real joy for us to bring you those games. Of course, let us know where you're watching from. For those of you joining us, BFBS Forces News YouTube channel, it's great to have your company. Check out our socials as well. Get in touch with us there if you wish. On Instagram, BFBS Forces News. And where else, Rocky Clark?
Yeah, and drop me a message. Give me your shout out at RockyClark_1. And we'll get those read out. Let us know where you're watching from. Huge numbers tuning in, so let us know where you are.
Yeah, real delight to have you along with us. Wherever you may be in the world, it's great to have you watching. And do let us know as well. We'll endeavour to give you a shout out.
And if you are supporting or playing for Fiji this afternoon, let's have a cheer for you as well.
The Irish and Fijian sides in attendance ahead of their clash in the second semi-final today.
It feels like an appropriate time, Si, to give some credit to Bouton. Throughout this tournament, she's linked up between the 10 and Oceane at the 15 really well. She's been really pivotal in their attack. So taking that little knock there may jeopardise that little interlinking play between those three, which will be critical in their open play attack. Hopefully not too much of an adverse effect for her, but she does look in a little bit of pain there.
UKAF looking to try and mess French line out up, and it comes back to Lucy Nye. Daisy Fahey stepping in as makeshift 9. Ellie Brightwell, always keen for work. That comes out, it's just a bit loose. Grundy takes it. The French looking to jackal as hard as they can. UKAF recycle it. Dainton again. Miller and Reynolds in support. And back it comes to Fahey. Choosing the boot this time. That ball just going in between a number of French shirts. And Buisson being chased hard by Grundy, but using those brilliant feet to get round her, and several other defenders. And they've done well, UKAF, to bundle her into touch.
Yeah, what we're seeing from UKAF in their defence is, in their attack, is probably an overcommitting of numbers at the breakdown at the minute. So when they look up for their attacking options, they're reduced because they're committing 4 people to the breakdown. So I think that's probably just post half-time, kind of rectifying some of the wrongs from the first half, but hopefully they get a bit more confidence in their defensive efforts, and that is absolutely what we want to see right there.
Langton finds Reynolds, but spills and goes into French hands. And it's Pointu taking that forward. Now the open side flanker, Marie Amand. Suillard. As it comes to Manon Leduc. And Ellie Brightwell finding herself at altitude there for a split second. That ball coming over the top, a little bit of a chip. And penalty for UKAF.
Seeing some good tackles go in by Miller. Last one, she was a speed bump for Leduc. I wouldn't fancy being in front of her, to be fair. She's quite a truck flying at you, but it was Miller who was underneath that and getting through some serious amount of work.
Yeah, she did really well to nullify the rumblings of the pack there. We were in danger of seeing a repeat from the last try that France scored going into the half. So great work by Chantal, clearly body on the line, it means a lot, and a good exit from Fahey there to get us to the halfway line.
Lou Langton accepting the ball, saying this is her last hurrah in purple colours this tournament, her final fling, as she put it, just before things started. Well done by Heidi Silcox taking that. Sarah Batley chased on by Baru. Out to Rose Dixon. Now once more as the sun appears more strongly. And penalty coming for UKAF.
Number of penalties racking up against France, but not getting the captains in yet to speak to them. 6 offside. So that was Barrow. Fahey needs to bang this down as far as she can. Just like to see the UKAF side try and use some more out the back balls from the forwards, either the tip-ons or pulling it back to a back potentially who's in the pocket to utilise, because they're doing it so well. They're finding space out wide. They need to kind of not fight fire with fire in the forwards, try and go round them rather than through them. As we said, they got some big units. I need to execute that line out.
Chantal Miller trying to clean up. As the ball comes back to Nye. Andrea Chastain on for France. Silcox trying to get through the middle. Hasn't found as much space today as she has in previous matches in this tournament. That French defence has been rather solid, and looking to jackal France and earning themselves the penalty.
France are doing extremely well there of reading the attacking options from the back three of UK Armed Forces, and we can see a quick penalty here puts them in a great position.
And it was Buisson again, a good offloading. And a French penalty.
I think it might have been Beth Dainton doing WWE as she was just having to scramble. Was flying off around the shoulders of one of the French players. But Fahey did well, to be fair. With the gas up against her, managed to grab, but they're now pinned into this corner. So this is a key turnover they need now, isn't it? If they score now, this is really, really hard for UKAF to come back from.
Well, Bethan Dainton may be hearing some of the hype about Alona Maher, US rugby superstar, and any links that there might be in the future to WWE, saying she wants some herself potentially, and showcasing a little of that today on the pitch.
It's a great maul defence. Can they get up?
Moving that through to Chastain, who's clearly on the pitch to hit those lines hard. And coming out to Baru. Trying to recycle that. France just a little slow at the moment though. And Repan this time. The edge ever closer. Romero looking for her options. UKAF trying to disrupt that at the breakdown though. This time it's Léa Morel, Marine Nationale player, we saw against Royal Navy in March. Done and haven't. Oh, and getting very, very close to that post and the try line. What can UKAF do in defence here with just inches to spare? Well, they've moved forward, have France. But the referee says that's been held up, and great defence from the purple shirts.
That is a sigh of relief, isn't it, for the purple shirts there. They weather that storm somehow, and the new law, being able to get under the ball and get rid of it, is going to be massive.
Great patience for me there, and when you're defending your try line like that, it is very easy to get overexcited and try and do too much, but actually the patience paid dividends to UKAF. It's now how the French counter-attack and how UKAF challenge that defensively.
We saw Brightwell in pursuit and does very well, Ellie Brightwell.
Just look at the French. She's knocked that on, but referee hasn't seen it. But their lead drive, all of them, is insane. They must just be pushing tanks in training, because this is so impressive. Just even the fullback.
Every day is a leg day, Rocky Clark.
Not for my Dorito body.
Not for me either. French rumble forward here. And Mullen up very quickly there, and looks to have hurt herself a little with that challenge. But that ball moving wide, and well, luckily for UKAF on the outside with some space trying to be utilised. The French just can't get the ball into hands. And Mullen looks to be okay.
It's not often that you see Jade Mullen getting bounced like that, and that again just an example of the French's physicality. They are hard to stop, and UKAF at the minute are definitely feeling the effects of that.
It was the right decision to fly up because they had numbers. Probably needed to go 4 inches lower and not run into a hard part, then she'd have been all right. But brave attempt again, and well, we've seen 2 units coming off and we're just seeing 2 more come on, so this is probably not what UKAF want to see. But the front row for the French has had a fantastic game. Aricas and Leduc, phenomenal players.
Interestingly though, Rocky, we have seen when France have made changes throughout this tournament that there hasn't necessarily been the consistency in their and depth in their squad. We've seen definite changes in their gameplay, so for France's sake I hope that those players that have come on have grown through the tournament, and there's no change for France in their attacking picture or defensive picture.
Romero to Bergeron, trying to get that flat, and that's wonderful from Chastain, who's just on the field only a few moments and scores right over that whitewash. Another try for France, their 4th today.
Great line there, and you know that's what you want in your attacking back line. You want your players to pick the shoulders in between 2 defenders and try and break that. The spacing for me in UKAF's wider defence was slightly too wide and a little bit disconnected, so great line from her and great try.
24 points to 7, France lead now. Just under half an hour to go in this match. Lots for UKAF to do as Bergeron lines the ball on the tee for the conversion attempt.
Just looking across at coach Sarah Mitchelson here, I'm wondering when she'll be ringing the changes and who that might be. It feels like obviously France have the momentum and are very much ahead in this game at the minute, but I feel like the bench and those changes that are made could change this game and turn it round.
Well, the conversion is made. The wind is taking that ball a little towards the left upright. But 26 points to 7 the score now. France well ahead in this match. What have UKAF got here in response? They need to reply fairly quickly and get themselves back in this match. Daisy Fahey with ball in hand.
Well, I've just had a message in. Julie and Peter Pearson, parents and in-laws to Gemma and Heidi, watching in Llandudno, North Wales. Keep pushing, girls, you've got this. So North Wales, they're going wild for you girls.
It's a bit of a high challenge and advantage being played to France. And coming back for the penalty, Mitchell Egan, the referee.
And confirmation that leaving the field for France were number 5, Léa Morel, and number 7, Marie Amont.
Léa Morel and Marie Amont coming off the field for France.
I think this is a time in the game, Si, where we're seeing one of those classic momentum shifts. It's all going France's way at the minute, and I think we need something that's going to energise UK Armed Forces into getting up and getting after and wanting the win. Not to say that they don't, but you just need some sort of energiser, and the substitutes that are being made right now might be what does it. But I think just to lift that up and try and get the momentum back in the UK Armed Forces' favour, they're just in need of that at the minute.
Well, Ellie Brightwell and Sophie Benevent coming off the field. Holly Beacom, number 18. And Sam West, number 6, coming on.
Benevent, for me, has just carried so well. They'll miss her hard carries, but Brightwell has been everywhere as well. So 2 key players. Big boots to fill.
Lots of work for them to do. Not much time to settle in. Holly Beacom, who played a very good role against Zambia last week. And dynamic carrier Sam West. That ball comes forward off the boot of Bergeron. Jasmine Abel just tracking that back. Karasque is very quick. Chastain as well, the try scorer most recently. And Beacom it is, taking that ball into contact. Dixon under a lot of pressure there, but UKAF earning themselves the penalty.
Great carry from Beacom. And getting latched there by Dainton. Perhaps they've been listening to comms. Getting the word on the street. Got to make sure they make gain line minimum.
What's the opposite of commentator's curse?
That's a good question. Put it on my Insta, let me know. I've no idea. We'll get John on it.
Yeah, John Nyson commentating in the second game today, Fiji against Ireland. The other semi-final to take place. Joining the winner of this first match on Wednesday. Langton finding Beth Dainton. Ball bouncing kindly for Nye. Sam West now. Comes back. That's lovely work from Heidi Silcox.
That's the pace you need on the ball. It's just slowed down a little. They need to keep a couple of those hard carriers coming on at pace.
And Jasmine Abel being marched back, but the referee comes back for the penalty.
Credit to France there. They're very good at their at slowing UKAF's ball down. They'll know that they want to play deliberately at times with fast ball, and so they're very clever in when they choose to do that and when they choose to let UKAF believe that they've got quick ball, but actually there's an overmatch in the way that they're about to play. Really, yeah, seen some really experienced, like collective decision making from France in that respect.
Very well drilled. I think you said before, a lot of these play together, and you can certainly tell that they're known for their relentless defence. All of them from 1 to 15, putting in big shots, disruptive at the breakdown, and then we talked about it, that leg drive is insane.
Ball comes back for France. On the halfway line now. Coming through the hands. And brilliant from UKAF.
Yeah, well won by Sam West there, coming off the bench, and that's exactly the kind of impact that you want from your players, line speed, energy, and it's those little momentum shifts that can change things now. And obviously UKAF with the attack, so we'll look to see how much territory Fahe can get and surmount an attack from there.
Just outside the French 22, that kick goes. Lou Langton receiving the ball. What can UKAF muster here with an hour play, just 20 minutes to go? And evading the hands of Dainton there. Back to the French. Rose Dixon doing well to track.
She did extremely well there.
Great. Yeah, no, we were talking over each other because she did so well. She drifted off really well.
Well, a bit of space here, out wide for the French. Just Ripin, passing it out to Carrasquet. And Suillard, try scorer in this match, of course, as well. And both those two.
Yeah, it's a big defensive ask from a team that's expecting to, that is set to receive an attacking play, to then convert to a defensive one. And we obviously saw there that there were numbers on the edge as a reaction to that.
I reckon Abel was going, please pass that, so she didn't have to make a tackle on Ripin, who was flying down that wing.
It's when you find yourself as a fullback not knowing whether to stick or twist in those moments.
Yeah, which one do you not have to make a tackle?
That makes the decision easier, I suppose. Yeah, more substitutions. Fanny Camus coming on for France, number 22. And Millie Williams in the number 16 shirt. Started at 10 recently for UKAF. Very talented first receiver, but inside centre today.
Yeah, we're seeing some costly errors from UKAF. I say that as they turn the ball over, but in the lead up to that, just discipline needs to really tighten up. Otherwise, they're going to give away territory to France, and we know that France will capitalise either by the boot or through their set piece.
Williams to Fahey. Finding Jasmine Abel, but no real room to work with there, Abel. And the penalty.
Number 9, Jodie May Romero, and number 11, Melanie Busquet.
I'd be really interested to know the penalty count here. I've had a lot of penalties, but it's interesting, they seem to give them away in the middle of the field, so it makes it really hard to get any distance from that. But Fahey's done. Oh, she got it? No.
Buisson has taken it in the end. She's so hard to take down, Océane Buisson. That's fantastic work, and getting it through the hands. Finding a bit more space out in this left-hand side now of France, and that's wonderful work just on the field. Fanny Camus, number 22, and a brilliant score for the defending champions.
And that's what we see there, is a good side will punish you. Sadly, Fahey's clearance or penalty didn't go to touch and to fall into the hands of Océane. We've seen what she can do all tournament. Amazing footwork, very evasive, and create something almost unexpectedly. And obviously great support from Fanny there. So credit to France. That was a really, really well taken opportunity.
Yeah, it was great work by Buisson. Just the ability to keep that in. It was a bit of a juggle, but she could tap dance her way out of anything, couldn't she? Honestly, so good. Fast feet. Such an evasive player.
Yeah, real brilliance there. Fanny Camus coming on the field. And Erica Kiwi-Mills greatly enjoying that score. That's brilliant stuff from the French. 31 points to 7. Unsuccessful conversion attempt this time, but with just over 15 minutes to play. It's advantage Les Bleus.
I think the UK Armed Forces just need the ball to put some attacking phases together. They have been defending for large parts of play and then been turning over into and converting their turnovers into territory, but that hasn't necessarily been coming off for them. I think if they can just get a bit of ball in hands now, then they will get a little bit of attacking momentum in their favour. She says hopeful that the game isn't running away with them too much.
Sarah Batley, Amy Reynolds and Lucy Nye coming off the field. Tyler Lewis, Gemma Pearson coming on, and Becky Wilson as well in that front row.
Great chase by Grundy, just putting all that pressure on, forcing them to have a breakdown in the 22. He's trying to use their forwards to get that exit, but again, I think it was Miller who was up making that tackle.
Well, just some salutations being exchanged in the middle of the pitch there. Silcox getting to know some of the French players rather well. And Gemma Pearson with ball in hand. It's been a frustrating afternoon for UKAF. Referee just making sure that both captains keep the behaviour and discipline good. Well, requesting a scrum are UKAF from this penalty.
There must be something that's not necessarily functioning for them in the line out, and obviously players of this calibre will try and fix things as you go through, which can be difficult. You can't always see the full picture, but yeah, there's obviously something there that isn't quite clicking for them. So opting for the scrum gives a good solid platform for this next attack.
Gemma Pearson, who started at 9 against Ireland a couple of matches ago. Another dynamic number 9. Inter-services winner on multiple occasions with the British Army. As the scrum gets reset.
Of course, with Rose Dixon coming off and seeing Millie on the pitch, we've got 2 very capable playmakers there in terms of Millie and Daisy. So it'll be interesting to see what they opt for, because they do have a lot of options in that back line for kicking and distribution and also attacking prowess.
Pearson looking for that ball from the scrum, which is getting shoved right back by the French. And they've done very well, earning themselves a penalty. Nice message for Tyler Lewis. Joanne Coombs, let's go Tyler. Mum is watching from South Wales. Some more messages coming in from Wales and around the world as well. Since 1967, suggesting that commentators' intuition would be the opposite of commentators' curse. That's a great shout. Stephen Beacom, let's go Holly Beacom. Listening in from Fermanagh, I believe. Ball coming in and taken cleanly. Oh, and taking that at pace. That's wonderful work from the outside centre, Bourret.
Seems to be one of the big differences with the French carriers. They're running on at huge pace like they're doing their sprint test. They just happen to have a few purple shirts in front of them. So every time they're dragging in a couple of players and running through those seams.
It's good work from France. That's very, very nice indeed. But ball spilling forward, and it'll be a UKAF put into the scrum. Big shout out to Auntie Sarah Batley, watching from Yorkshire. Love Iris and Enya. Sarah Butler is saying, watching on a road trip from Cyprus back to the UK, currently in northern Greece, supporting UKAF all the way. Sarah B and Charlie.
As you say, Rocky, when you're defending like that, it's not often you can get a powerful shot on that will stop that play. So you're constantly on the back foot trying to scramble defence, and it's so hard to try and break that momentum of the attacking side that when they have such powerful players and big runners like that.
Yeah, so what you want to do is try and slow down that breakdown. That's come straight out but gone back in. But at least it's a wild pass, but there is loads of space.
Andrea Chastain and Jade Mullen, and that ball comes back on the purple side. And Dainton looking for even an inch of space. She does very well. Welsh international.
That's exactly why we want to see her in those wider channels. She's such a threat with ball in hand. Give her a little bit of space because she'll do something. Speed of ball needs to keep quick now.
That's well taken off her bootlaces by Daisy Fahey. Pearson out to Lewis. The unmistakable coloured scrum cap of Tyler Lewis. RAF lock. That's her first IDRC.
Big, strong player as well. She's getting up again. She wants to carry again. Oh, a 9's gone in, but they've run in and rescued it. But the penalty's given away.
Great work there from Orla Proctor, coming off the wing.
Now, you'd like to think they're going to kick to touch and obviously keep the line out rather than opt for the scrum. They've just, even if they win it at the front, they've got to just be sensible with this, win ball at any cost.
Out it goes deep into the 22. As we enter the final 10 minutes of this game in Richmond.
I think it's this stage in the game as well where you can afford to take a bit of a gamble with some fast penalties. UKAF had a really small display of momentum there, and I think there was an opportunity for them to capitalise on that. France at the minute are expecting them to set and kick for territory. So when you've got 10 minutes to play and you're behind, I think UKAF have got to start trying to take some of these opportunities.
Agreed, but they must win the ball. Stop throwing to the back. Win at the front, it's easy ball to win.
Oh, French forwards making their presence felt there. Nice little chip over the top, but the ref comes back for the penalty.
Miller and Lewis doing well to cull the big forward carriers, being brave.
Great to hear the support in the stands as well today in Richmond. Everyone in good voice, those supporting either of those teams, and indeed Fiji and Ireland as well. Another line out for the French. Lots of defensive work going on at the moment for UKAF.
Just seen Miller go off. Good shift from her. Got through loads of defensive efforts. And then great player. Swain's come on.
That's good defensive work there from Orla Proctor. The sign of a good winger. Of course, often playing in the centre, but often busy for work as well. Oh, lovely offloading from France. Bethan Dainton doing her best to spoil things at the breakdown. And Clémence Ripon, Marine Nationale player. Advantage being played to the French as well. And the penalty comes.
Yeah, well, I imagine we'll see France now using the time that they quite rightly have in earning a penalty like that. What have we got? 7 minutes to play. So yeah, just taking their time, putting their systems together and seeing out the game, I think is probably going to be their approach from here on in.
Adeline Lamoine with the ball. Very impressive from France today. 31 points to 7. It was 12-7 at one stage with that Sarah Batley try for UKAF. But since then, there's 19 unanswered points. It's been brilliant from the French.
Silcock's coming through, disrupting it. It's what Kiwi talked about earlier. Turnover ball.
Becky Wilson coming through. Very close to touch, but they keep it in. And Tyler Lewis now. Out it comes, taken very low by Fahey. Williams. Nice passing, getting it out to Jazz Abel. What have they got on the outside channels here? No, penalty there for UKAF being taken quickly. Gemma Pearson.
Oh, it's a shame. When you're this close to the full-time whistle and trailing like UKAF are, it can be very hard to keep your head in it and keep in that fight. But what we saw there, I think, is just testament to the fight and the will that they have, despite having not had the possession and the phases of play that I know they will have wanted. they will play to the 80th, the 90th minute and give it everything they've got, as will the French. We saw that against Fiji. We also saw that in their opening game against Australia. So, yeah, it's obviously not to be UKAF's day at this stage, but hopefully they will try and muster something in the closing stages.
Yeah, Gemma Pearson's really raised that tempo since she's come on. That quick tap, just getting it away to her teammate to go through. The ex-netballer knows to find those players to pick off. I've been done for truck and trailer. It's not their day, is it? Just a person in front, and they've been disconnected and ran into their own player. So once they rip, you can't leave and then rejoin. That's what's happened. They needed to run off and get a mate with them.
Cerise Moulin, that yellow card. Just under 5 minutes to go now. Can UKAF get themselves another score here? Something to end the game on a high. What a statement from the French as well, as they look to Wednesday's final. Trying to repeat what they did in New Zealand in 2022, winning the competition. Oh, that's a bit scrappy, and ball going forward off UKAF hands. French put into the scrum.
Yeah, it was a good scrum previously by UKAF after they were under the cosh on the last one that they opted for. But you'll just see as a defensive team, they're waiting for that ball to be put in, and as the hooker's foot is up, that's when they're going 8 against 7, flying through. But what can they do with this pack now?
Well, Richmond have put on a show today. Fantastic quality of the pitch, and great atmosphere as well in the stand. And we look to Kingsholm for that final in just a few days' time. Rocky Clark, of course, busy with all the World Cup action at the moment as well, Rocky. And we've been seeing some fantastic stuff from the Red Roses and the other teams in the competition. And you can tell us a little bit as well about some of your cycling between the grounds, and tell us a bit more about what you've been up to.
Yeah, we've got a busy few days coming up, and just quickly, there was the penalty against UKAF as wheeling round. But on the cycle, we're raising money for Ed M&D charity, and we're going to hit in 2 stages the Women's World Cup venue. So we're starting off in Sunderland, and we're going to meet you on Wednesday in Gloucester. So when I come to comms, I'm probably going to be walking like John Wayne. I'll need an ice bucket, but I'll be there ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to cycle in or crawl in, one of the ways, and as a 100-kilo lassie, it's going to be a fair old whack to get through those amount of miles. But if you want to support us, we're on Golden Girls on Instagram, or Rocky Clark _1, and then we've got our link if you'd like to donate.
Well done with the challenge. I think we could do even better than an ice bucket. We'll have an ice bath waiting for you. What about that?
Might make
as
me
you come
cry.
in comms.
But yeah, Kiwi will be laughing now. She loves that.
Kiwi will be there. She'll love it. Yeah, she'll be all up for videoing every moment of that too. And I think one of us, Kiwi today, and myself the other day, one of us will have to have plenty of colour in the shirt as we approach the end of the summer, and we want to retain that sense of vibrancy. That ball goes into the line out. And a good maul from UKAF. That's very good work from the UKAF pack. And the power coming through there as well. Some of the fresher legs making a difference. Mullen in midfield. Just running into a brick wall though. Ball coming through, and Fahey looping that over the top to Kim Grundy, who puts the boot in. The ball goes up in the air towards the try line. Oh, and how about that? Sort of a finish. That's quite incredible, really. Referee going back for the penalty, but it wasn't far away from Kim Grundy dotting that down. Millie Williams just doing a bit of socialising this time.
I love that. She's really made her presence felt, as she's went off the quick tack, bowling through people, and then talking some French as well.
Some vocabulary lessons, it seems. Pearson take it quickly to Holly Beacom. Trying to drive that through, and so close are UKAF now. Just seconds to go in this match. What a way to finish this would be on a day of disappointment for them.
Look at the difference. France's line speed at guard, just repelling them.
Have to get the power here, UKAF. Oh, a penalty again, and yet another. Ref could be reaching for his pocket soon. Quickly taken to Becky Wilson. Hasn't quite got enough on this occasion. There's space lining out in this left-hand side, and Williams firing it through to Fahy. Jazz Abel, and UKAF get another. The Navy fullback this time on the left-hand side. And what about that as a way to finish?
Yeah, those passage of plays we played with huge pride. I think we've seen glimmers of UKAF in the last 5-10 minutes that I would have personally wanted to see from them earlier on in the game. A bigger hit and drive at the maul from the line out, and also just that urgency. Sadly, slightly too late in the game, but yeah, they'll be happy that they have had the final say in this game, which is all you can really take away from it at this stage.
Yeah, finish on a high. That was the patience we were talking about they needed earlier. They got numbers with them, they had the latch, they got through those pick and goes, and then when it was on, they pulled the trigger, got it out wide. Again, a key player to get that wide was out there driving it wide. Millie Williams, and then able to go over. But a great carry again from Becky Wilson. Got really close to the try line.
Full-time whistle sounds, the French jubilant in celebration. Heartbreak for UKAF, the end of the road for the home side in the main competition. They've been swept aside by the defending champions, 31 points to 12 at Richmond. They march on to Wednesday's final. We'll have to see who they're up against next. Fiji against Ireland in the second of today's semi. And my word, that was impressive from France Kiwi.
Yeah, there's no escaping how accomplished France are in both their attack and defence. We've seen nothing but a clinical output from them consistently in this competition, and we saw the same again today. They took opportunities that in some cases UKAF afforded them, but equally created their own opportunities, and they are a world-class side. They are, sadly, UKAF's kryptonite, I'd say. That's the third time now where UKAF haven't managed to find a way to win, and sometimes it is about that. Sometimes it's not pretty rugby. However, France put on a very great display of rugby there. For me, UKAF, they'll be hugely disappointed with that. I know I am for them for several reasons, but semi-final on home turf. But that's not to discredit their efforts in a lot of parts of the game, both defensively and attack. We saw some really good things. Sometimes though, and there's no greater explanation for it than it's just not your day. Things weren't going their way, and I think that's what we've seen today, despite some credible efforts from the UKAF side.
France Rugby really earning their place in Wednesday's final.
Yeah, they did indeed. They knew when to rumble through the forwards, and they got some big girls that are hard to take down, and they're always able to either get that offload or get over the gain line, make those extra yards, which makes it really hard when the next players put real pace on, and then they're hard to tackle, get that offload away, and then they get it into the dancing feet of the speedsters. Carragher, Buisson, Beret, they can just really do some damage. So, yeah, France looked like the complete picture, didn't they? They had the scrum line out, they had the forward power game, and then they had the backs who had the space and did the damage.
Well, of course, it'll be cold comfort Kiwi for the UKAF side, but it was a case of being outplayed today by the French. It wasn't a case of having the lead and messing things up perhaps towards the end, as we see in some games, of course, but they really were outplayed, and yeah, lots to to ruminate on, but a great campaign nevertheless for them.
Yeah, and I think sometimes losing to a team that are on great form like France are displaying is slightly easier to accept. It's not easy to accept when you analyse your own performance and look at where you maybe could have capitalised and not allowed the points difference to stretch to what it became, because then that does have a psychological impact on players. So they'll definitely go away and analyse that. But yeah, you can't not credit France for their complete performance today.
Well, we mentioned what Jade Mullen has done in this match. Every time she pulls on that purple UKAF shirt, she's in the action in attack and defence. A special player, a special leader. Disappointment for her, but Kath Brazier is alongside her at the moment.
Jade Mullen, losing captain. I know how disappointing this is. You carry your team's woes on your shoulders. I know that. Just tell us how tough this is. It's hard for us to watch. How tough is it for you guys to lose today?
Yeah, it's really quite tough. We show like a lot of heart. We're a team that like gives everything, and we like fight for each other. So yeah, it's really hard to swallow. But you know, it's 80-minute performance. We can only do what we could have done today, and like we just couldn't capitalise on the opportunities we did have.
Do you think the groups had anything to do with it? Because France definitely had the tougher group. They probably had tougher games in the warm-up. I know you've had not easy games, but do you think that was part of it, or do you think the fact that they were defending champions is part of it as well?
Definitely think the group stages like didn't help. Obviously, if it was more balanced, we probably would have our hardest game was the last game, and it's really hard to get on top of that. So yeah, but it is where it is. Like we can't blame anyone but ourselves. So yeah, we just have to, stay tight as a team, which is what is important.
I think France held their best game for you. They're very aware that you have home advantage, but they absolutely saved their best game for today, and that was unfortunate. You guys were on the receiving end.
Yeah, like France always show up. It's really hard. It was a really physical battle. They play like a very similar structure to ours. What was hardest was we had feedback in the week from the referees, what they were going to be looking at more, and it was hard going out in there, and we feel like the feedback we had from the refs, they didn't really capitalise on it either. So it was a bit of both sides. It was off feet at the ruck. We were asking there was time off for France, and it wasn't time off for us. So it was quite frustrating. So it was really hard to try and stick in that game when we were trying to fight against the France and the ref.
Well, listen, Jade, I can tell you're really disappointed. Go back to your team. I know you've got one more game to go. What will you say to them now, before the third, fourth place playoff on Wednesday?
We're just going to look at ourselves, look internally, fight for what we believe in, and try and go out on a high, which is what's important. We can't stick in this, so we have to just move on and go into the next fight, which is your third and fourth place.
Great, we'll see you then. Thanks, Jade.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, disappointed Jade Mullen, of course, as she would be at this stage of the tournament, exiting in the semi-finals. They've given everything, the pride they have in wearing the shirt. UKAF and Rocky Clark. Obviously, we speak of quality in terms of a team's results, but it's also evident in terms of cohesion as well, isn't it? And how close-knit that UKAF side is across all three services.
Yeah, you can see how there's such a good camaraderie between them, and it's that never give up attitude. I'd just like to see them get a little bit more time together so they can be a really well-oiled machine, because they've got it in them. They can beat France, but they just need to make sure that they're all tight-knit.
Oh, Kath's pitch side now with a French perspective, Serene Magère.
Well, the victorious French are here today, and Serene has agreed to join us. You must be so pleased with the way that your team played today.
Yeah, we are very, very happy. I'm proud of my team and my manager, my coach. We are very, very happy to play this final. We go see after between us.
What did you do today that was better than what the UK did to win?
I think it's because we have play a game hard during the phase. So we have a Fiji, it was a very hard game. Australia, very hard game. So we are most ready, I think, for fight England.
Just one final question about that final. We don't know who it will be yet, but if it's Fiji again, are you ready?
We are really ready for play against Fiji and have the revenge of her.
Well done. Thank you, Serene. See you soon.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, there's often, of course, reflection of what's come in this tournament, and for UKAF, the end of the road for this particular IDRC. But often it's a great opportunity at this stage for a look ahead at what may come down the line for this team. And great, of course, Kiwi, to see such strength and depth, and also the performances of some of the younger players, the Ellie Brightwells, the Holly Beacons, and that's been great to see.
It's hugely exciting for UK Armed Forces Rugby, with the prospect of development players coming through, having an opportunity to be selected for this competition. And by development, I just mean in the maturity of the game and the nature of the opposition that the UK Armed Forces are privileged enough to play. And looking forward, like you say, there is depth, and I think that depth has played significance in their performances so far. There's no one player that would come off that pitch that you wouldn't want them to be replaced by another, and I think that's been an absolute luxury for Sarah Mitchelson throughout this competition, and probably at times an unwelcome challenge, because she has had those really hard decisions to make. And obviously this time I wouldn't say it was through selection, but the result hasn't gone their way. But looking forward to the remainder of this season, there will inevitably be a remembrance fixture, which is what's normally prominent in the UK Armed Forces calendar. So disappointment today, but opportunities moving forward, that's for sure.
100%. And of course this game being played in the top spirit that we've become accustomed to at the IDRC. A great reflection on that, Rocky, and it's been testament to the quality in this competition that here we are looking ahead to Wednesday. France, the first to write their names on the final lineup, and we'll see, of course, next with Fiji against Ireland. But my word, it's going to be a special one at Kingsholm.
Yeah, it certainly is. There's everything obviously to play for, but if today goes anything by, France are going to be a really tough outfit to beat. I think everybody's come through it unscathed, and they've had a great test against UKAF, who put in a really good defensive shift and asked a lot of questions at times. But certainly, yeah, it's going to be a tough battle. But, you know, women's rugby's going through the roof. We're in the middle of the World Cup. This has been fantastic running alongside it, the IDRC, and we're seeing some real stars being put alight and players putting their marks on the game, so it's fantastic.
Well, it's been a real pleasure being alongside both of you again today. Erica Kiwi-Mills, Rocky Clark. We'll see you both on Wednesday as well.
See you then.
Yeah, look forward to it. Can't wait.
Don't go anywhere, folks. If you need to, go for a walk, put the kettle on, have something to eat. Of course, another semi-final lined up this afternoon at Richmond, live on the BFBS Forces News YouTube channel. 3:45 UK time, and we shall see you there.
She's lightning pace, and she's going to go through and score the